Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 1745BN. Today's date is December 19th, 2018, and the title of the episode is The Deep State Army Has Been Defeated. Anons knew it's all about to change. Before we start, I want to talk about privacy. It has been proven that government agencies, corporations are tracking and spying on us 24/7. Let's take a look at the latest news. Dell resets all customers' passwords after potential security breach. Corporations, governments are tracking. This holiday season, Virtual Shield is offering 35% off all VPN plans and all premium add-ons, including Protection Plus, residential access, monthly maintenance, phone support, and VIP performance plans for as low as $3 per month. And don't forget about IdentiSafe, which allows the customer the ability to block off computer, microphone, and camera access from any unwanted spies and hackers. So check out the link below and start protecting yourself today, because we all have the right to remain private. Let's get into the economic collapse, political and geopolitical news. Now, there was a huge blow to the deep state today. Everyone probably heard the news. The troops will be coming out of Syria. Now, remember, a couple months ago, Trump said that he will be bringing the troops out of Syria. Now, a lot of people didn't believe this. Actually, I mentioned this yesterday, where Trump said he was going to be bringing the troops home, and it turns out to be absolutely true. Now, remember, these terrorist groups, these are the paid mercenary armed forces of the deep state. So what we could say about this whole thing is that the deep state army has just been defeated. Now, of course, the deep state, they've been trying for many, many years to control the Middle East. Why? Because they needed to control the Middle East because their whole system ran on the petrodollar. They needed to have every single government working with them to make sure that everyone used the dollar to purchase oil. That's why the Middle East was so important. This deal was made all the way back in the 70s when we came off the gold standard. Guess what? Their entire system, and this is the central bank system, remember that, is falling apart. We discussed this in the first report, where they're going to destroy the system. This is part of it, because they wanted to control all the oil in the Middle East to prop up their system. It is now falling apart, and we'll discuss that in a little bit. But first, I wanted to start off with James Comey. It looks like he's getting caught up in some of his lies here right now, because Comey, in a House testimony for which a transcript was released, maintained that Republicans first financed the dossier, then Democrats. But testimony by the dossier writer, Christopher Steele, and others showed that the dossier didn't exist until Fusion GPS engaged Mr. Steele in May-June 2016. By that time, a Republican funding opposition research with Fusion had bowed out 2 months earlier. Fusion went to Hillary Clinton campaign and Democratic National Committee to win funding to hire Mr. Steele, who in June wrote dossier memos accusing Trump of colluding with Moscow. Now, in testimony before House Judiciary Oversight Task Force on Monday in closed session, Comey repeated the oft-stated liberal view that a Republican funded the dossier first. It was Republicans opposed to Trump, then it was Democrats opposed to Trump, Mr. Comey testified. I remember being told that Steele's work had been funded first by Republicans opposed to Trump, then Democrats opposed to Trump, he said. To me, it didn't matter. Now, Mark Meadows said, wait a minute, I completely disagree here. It does make a difference, he said. If someone is paying for this and you're actually using that information to surveil American citizens, it does matter to me and most Americans. And as an FBI agent, wouldn't he want to get all the facts? Of course. Now, a reporter asked James Comey straight out about whether he leaked classified information. And of course, what was his answer? Well, take a listen.
Pursue the leads where you'd want us to.
Director,
Catherine, go.
Okay, so
and then you're next.
maybe for you or your attorney, my understanding is that when you shared your memos with your legal team, that there was a follow-up for a classified containment operation by the Bureau. Was there a spill of classified information when you shared those memos?
Yeah, I'm not going to talk about something like that.
So, Director Comey,
well, that's important to talk about whether classified information was mishandled.
Whether you think it is or not, I'm not going to talk about it one way or another. Go ahead.
Sir, we're seeing...
And of course, he said, I'm not going to talk about something like that because he leaked information. And he doesn't want to answer these type of questions. He's getting caught up in everything that's going on, and eventually he will be taken down. Now, Loretta Lynch is appearing behind closed doors today. And I'd like to go back to post 2259. This is back September 21st, 2018. Panic in D.C. Rod Rosenstein called Loretta Lynch 4 times in the past 11 days. And Rod Rosenstein and Loretta Lynch, they're both in caps, and there's kill brackets around them. Let's move to post 2260. Panic in D.C. This is September 21st, 2018. Loretta Lynch recorded calls with Rod Rosenstein. Loretta Lynch talking. Let's move to post 2261, September 21st, 2018. Loretta Lynch talking equals truth revealed Tarmac, Bill Clinton. Loretta Lynch talking equals truth revealed Comey, Hillary Rodham Clinton email case. Loretta Lynch talking equals truth revealed Hussein instructions, Hillary Clinton email case. Loretta Lynch talking equals truth revealed Brennan no name coordination to frame POTUS. FISA equals start. FISA brings down the house. When do birds sing? So right now, Loretta Lynch is testifying behind closed doors. And we'll have to wait to see how this turns out. But according to Q, well, it looks like she is talking. Now, it seems that the deep state, they are moving against Trump's foundations. And Trump complained that he was a victim of total double standard or justice after a lawsuit in New York State against Trump Foundation led to the charity's closure. Now, he put out a series of tweets about what is going on here. He said, "The Trump Foundation has done great work and given away lots of money, both mine and others, to great charities over the years, with me taking no fees, rent, salaries, etc. Now, as usual, I'm getting slammed by Cuomo and the Dems in a long-running civil lawsuit started by sleazebag Attorney General Eric Schneiderman, who has since resigned over horrific abuse women when I wanted to close the foundation so as not to be in conflict with politics. Shady Eric was head of the New Yorkers for Clinton and refused to even look at the corrupt Clinton Foundation. In any event, it goes on, and the new AG, who is now being replaced by yet another AG who openly campaigned on Get Trump agenda, does little else but rant, rave, and politic against me. Will never be treated fairly by these people, a total double standard of justice." Think projection. Why are they going after his foundation? Why are they doing this? Because they know what's coming with the Clinton Foundation, with the Clintons. And they're trying to do the same thing they did with emails. Well, okay, he did it, Hillary did it. Oh, look, Ivanka did it, Hillary did it. They're trying to say it's no big deal. Don't worry about it. There's nothing here, because most likely there is nothing here. And they want to show this. Even though they're saying that we're going to get them, most likely there is nothing here at all. Now, Trump is out there, and he's saying that the U.S. military will construct his long-promised wall along the U.S.-Mexico border, insisting that it will be built one way or another. He tweeted out the following: "In our country, so much money has been poured down the drain for so many years, but when it comes to border security and the military, the Democrats fight to the death. We won on the military, which is being completely rebuilt. One way or the other, we will win on the wall. Mexico is paying indirectly for the wall through the new USMCA, the replacement for NAFTA, far more money coming to the U.S. because of the tremendous dangers at the border, including large-scale criminal and drug inflow. The United States military will build the wall." Now, all the Anons knew this. Q has been telling us this. Because of a national security threat, it allows the president to use the military budget to build the wall, to protect the United States. And Trump is continually putting this out there, getting people used to the idea that the wall is going to be built. It's going to be built by the military. It's already planned. Actually, it's already said and done. What's going on right now is for show. And that's what we're watching. We're watching a show. Now, we see with Brett Kavanaugh A Judicial Conduct Council dismissed dozens of complaints lodged against Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh, alleging he lied to the Senate Judiciary Committee during his confirmation hearings. A 10-page decision was released, and it concludes that Kavanaugh's purported misdeeds can no longer be investigated by a judicial panel due to his confirmation to the Supreme Court. Over 80 misconduct complaints were submitted to Kavanaugh's old court, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the D.C. Circuit, after Democratic lawyers and liberal activists accused him of lying to the Judiciary Committee about his connection to particular policies or episodes of interest during his service in the George W. Bush administration. And we can see right now that they're not going to stop this. They're going to continue on because Jerry Nadler, who's the incoming chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, he is saying that he's going to investigate Kavanaugh for any type of wrongdoing. And most likely they will find nothing as usual. They're just out there grandstanding and saying, we're going to be doing this, we're going to investigate that, we're going to do this now. But again, the Senate was the target. Before they get to do anything, they will be taken down. We see Trump issued an executive order. The executive order right now says the following. Executive order on providing for the closing of executive departments and agencies of the federal government on December 24, 2018. By the authority vested in me as President by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, it is hereby ordered as follows. Section 1. All executive department and agencies of the federal government shall be closed and their employees excused from duty on Monday, December 24th, the day before Christmas Day. Section 2. The heads of executive departments and agencies may determine that certain offices and installations of their organizations or parts thereof must remain open and that certain employees must report for duty on December 24th for the reason of national security, defense, or other public needs. Section 3. December 24, 2018 shall be considered as falling within the scope of Executive Order 11582 of February 11th, 1971, and of 5 U.S.C. 5546 and 6103B and other similar statutes insofar as they relate to the pay and leave of employees of the United States. So basically, Trump is giving federal employees the day off on the 24th. Very nice. Facebook is in the crosshairs once again. They are being sued now by the District of Columbia over a privacy breach in which personal information was transferred by an app developer to Cambridge Analytica. Now, the suit was filed in Superior Court in the District of Columbia, and what they're saying is that Facebook failed to protect the privacy of its users and deceived them about who had access to their data and how it was used. Facebook put users at risk of manipulation by allowing companies like Cambridge Analytica and other third-party applications to collect personal data without users' permission. The lawsuit marks the first time that regulators in the United States have sought to penalize Facebook for how it was used during the 2016 U.S. presidential election. And Facebook is taking a lot of heat, and if we go back to Q's post, Q has warned us that all these companies were going to be in the spotlight. And we can see there are major things changing right now. Look what's happening to Facebook, Google, Twitter. They were all brought into Congress. They had to testify because they were caught shadow banning. Actually, if you go to Google right now, and someone mentioned this, if you type in Hillary Clinton email, it comes up as Hillary Clinton emoji. If you go to Yahoo, it says Hillary Clinton email scandal. If you go to Bing, it says Hillary Clinton email scandal. If you go to DuckDuckGo, it says Hillary Clinton email scandal. If you go to Google and you type in Hillary Clinton email, nothing comes up at all. So you're trying to tell me that that is not a suggestion because all the other search engines have it? Very odd. But if we look around the world, we can see there is change everywhere. UK Brexit, no deal. Brussels, Prime Minister steps down. France, Yellow Vest Revolution. It's spreading to other countries. Other countries are not signing the UN Migrant Pact. The people are waking up. The people are starting to realize what has been going on for a very long time. Now, out in Syria, Putin said that most of the Syrian territories have been liberated from terrorists after his military's intervention. Now, he's out there saying this because what has happened is that Russia has pulled back on military assistance inside of Syria. It has decreased by 96% over the last year. Their Air Force went from launching 100 military flights a day to just 4 each day, and they're hoping to get that down to 0 by the beginning of next year. Now, Trump was out there, and he tweeted, and remember, Putin and Trump, they're working together on all this. The Islamic State is the paid mercenary army of the deep state. This is how it worked. To get us to go to war in the Middle East and Afghanistan, they use terrorist groups like Al-Qaeda. And they say, hey, Al-Qaeda is attacking us. They're a terrorist group. We need to go get them. We go out to Afghanistan. We go out to all these different countries. And once we have regime change, they flip the script. They have the puppet government in power, and they say anyone that is trying to attack the puppet government, which is the people of the country, they can call them Al-Qaeda. And that's what they did. They called them Al-Qaeda, and this way they can use Congress's resolution to go after them with drone strikes. But they really aren't Al-Qaeda. They are the people of the country who want their country back. In countries like Syria, they used Al-Qaeda, which is their paid mercenary army. They had to create a new paid mercenary army called the Islamic State, and they used that to try to get Assad out of power. They supported them with oil convoys. They supported them with funds. And every time the U.S. went into Syria, and remember, back then Obama was calling the shots. He decided where the military was going to strike, which allowed the Islamic State to capture more of Syria, capture more of Iraq, keep the borders open so they can transfer all the supplies. Oil was being shipped up to Turkey. Erdogan's son took care of that, and that was the stolen oil from Syria. Russia then came in, Trump was then elected, and they both worked together to get rid of the deep state paid mercenary army. This is how this whole thing worked. Now the deep state is stuck because Trump tweeted out, we've defeated the Islamic State in Syria. We've defeated the deep state army in Syria. That was my only reason for being there during the Trump presidency. Think about what he just said. Now, the time frame for U.S. troops to be pulled out of Syria is expected to be between 60 and 100 days. And it includes the entire force of more than 2,000 U.S. service members in the country. Most likely, there's probably a lot more in there. But right now, this is what they're saying. And we can see that all of this is being done because the reign of the deep state, the central bank, is coming to an end. Their system is coming to an end. And there's no reason to have the U.S. troops out in the Middle East to support the deep state or the central bank system anymore. Remember, all these wars, we were lied to. They tricked us with events, with lies, and everything else. They tried to scare the American people, saying terrorists are going to be coming after you. That's what 9/11 was about. I mean, part of it. I mean, there's many other things associated with 9/11. But they've been doing this for a very long time. Now remember, there are certain individuals within the Trump administration that are there for a specific purpose, and they're used for a specific time period. And we've seen Trump do this time and time again. He needs certain neocons and deep state players because he needs to keep them very, very close. Think about what Bolton said back in September, October of 2018. Bolton, U.S. forces will stay in Syria until Iran and its proxies depart. Bolton was out there saying that the United States wouldn't be leaving Syria so long as Iranian forces continue to operate there. Now, why was Bolton out there saying this? Well, this was part of the plan. Keep your eyes on Bolton while they work behind the scenes. Do you think the pullout was just a snap of the fingers, or do you think they've been planning on this for a very long time? They keep certain individuals in these positions because the neocons knew that Bolton was a neocon and they would believe him. The mainstream media, they would believe him. This is why they have these certain players there. So when you see Trump and the Patriots saying, okay, we're going to bring this person in. There's a reason for it. They're a distraction, and they need to continually use distractions so they can work behind the scenes. Sessions was a distraction. All these individuals are put there for a reason. We are going to see huge changes coming very soon. Think about what has happened right now. The Fed is on the path to destroy itself. It is based on the petrodollar system. Troops are being removed from the Middle East. There'll be no support there whatsoever. You'll see eventually, because Iraq has been calling for the troops to leave Iraq, most likely the troops will be leaving Iraq also. And once all the fighting comes to a screeching halt in the Middle East, the people will start to take over their governments once again. They will elect who they want in their governments. Then they will also decide what currency they will use for their oil transactions. Most likely it will not be the US dollar. But this is part of the plan to destroy the entire system. Think about it. When the petrodollar is no longer being used, when countries do not keep the reserve in their central bank, when they decide to send the dollars back, what happens? The system starts to break down. What do you need to protect it? Gold. We always come back to the same thing because they're in the process of destroying the Fed. They're in the process of destroying the deep state. They're in the process of destroying it all. And you need something to counter all of this. And that's why Q has mentioned gold. That will bring down the Fed. I mean, there's a lot of other things that's bringing down the Fed, but gold will be the linchpin. Gold will show how worthless the Fed is and how worthless their debt notes are. And we are definitely approaching that time period. It's getting closer and closer. And as you can see, there's a lot going on. And there's always moves and counter moves. Just because something doesn't look good today doesn't mean it's not going to look good tomorrow. It's all part of the plan. And again, as Q would say, trust the plan. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.